What your eyes can tell you about your kidneys. True story. A 25-year-old showed up in the emergency room with puffy eyes. The doctor sent him home with a water pill to get rid of the fluid. No urine test, no kidney test. 5 minutes later, he went back. His kidneys were failing. Okay, he had advanced kidney disease. He was silently leaking protein in his urine, okay, from his kidneys. His kidneys were damaged, and then the protein went through into his urine. And they finally picked it up when they did a urine analysis. Because the kidneys filter protein, and if there are holes in them, like their Swiss cheese, it just kind of goes right through. And then when there's less protein in the blood, the tissues fill up. And you'll notice it first right around your eyes. And because I was in practice for 30 years and I've seen this so many times, I can spot a person 25 feet away and just, oh, kidney problems. Now, I'm not going to go up to them and tell them, but I want to, but I don't. I'm going to give you other clues that relate to the eyes, but puffy eyes are one of the best indications of kidney issues. You can literally lose up to 90% of your kidney function and feel absolutely nothing. Now, you probably have puffiness in the eyes, but you won't feel tired. You're not going to feel sick. You're not going to feel anything. Right now, 35 million Americans have chronic kidney disease, and the great majority of them are not diagnosed. 80 to 90% of them don't even know yet, because the kidneys have this incredible ability to compensate and adapt. There's two really important lab tests that I would highly recommend if you suspect any of the things I'm going to talk about. And this is called an estimated glomerular filtration rate test. Basically, it measures how well your kidneys are filtering. And then when the filter becomes damaged, not only will the good things pass through and you can't recycle them, but some of the bad things kind of get backed up into the tissues. Another test that's really important is called urine albumin to creatinine ratio. Typically, both of them are under $30, but super important as it relates to the kidneys. I would also get your blood pressure checked, because blood pressure is one of the deeper things that can aggravate the kidneys and cause a lot of damage. Now, I'm not saying that the blood pressure is a root cause, but high blood pressure alone can cause a lot of damage to the tiny filtration units in the kidneys. You really want to catch the kidney problem before stage 4. But to do that, we have to look at the eyes, because the eyes are the window to the inside. And also, this is not related to the eyes, but foamy urine. That's kidney damage. And just as a side note, I used to have puffy eyes. That's right. In fact, I'll show you a picture right here of when I had puffy eyes when I was in my 30s. Right now, I am 61 years old. I am a lot healthier now than when I was in my 30s. So when you have foamy urine, you're losing protein from the urine. When you don't have that protein, fluid leaks out into the tissues. And it can not only show up in the eyes, it can show up in your ankles and your feet. And when you press into your ankles, you can see that little pitting edema. That's classic kidney issues. So a lot of people ask me, what supplements do I recommend? Now, of course, I'm not biased of my own high-quality supplement line, but if you go to Amazon and type Dr. Berg supplements, you'll find more information. All right, number 2, pale inner eyelids, okay? Now, if you look in the mirror and you pull your eye down and look on the inside of the eyelid, it should normally look pink. If it's kind of like white or gray, you probably have anemia, which is also correlated with kidney problems. But also, if it's bright red and irritated, suspect kidney problems as well, which is really related to blood sugar issues, because the number one cause of kidney disease is high blood glucose, and especially diabetes, because that high sugar in the bloodstream acts like sandpaper. Now think about it, your kidneys are a filter, so all of that sandpaper is going right through your kidneys as well. 60% of people on kidney dialysis have serious anemia. So the kidneys are really important and what's happening with the blood, especially making sure you don't have anemia. Next one is yellow eyelid patches. Now, if you ever look on the eyelids and you see people with yellow little bumps, those are cholesterol deposits on the top of the eyelid. And one of the fastest ways to develop massively elevated cholesterol is when you have kidney problems. When the kidneys start losing protein, the liver compensates,
and the more the kidneys can't work, the less vitamin D
you have. And vitamin D is super important in preserving and protecting and maintaining healthy kidneys. All right, and number 4, a white band on your cornea. This front part right here. If you have these little white bands,
these are
deposits of calcium. Because there's an out of control, dysregulated vitamin D, and calcium will start building up in the wrong places, especially across the eye. So it's really a myth that our body will tell us when there's something wrong. Sometimes it doesn't tell us for many, many years. So you can't just go by how you feel. You can't go by symptoms. Everything that we eat and drink gets filtered through the kidneys. So when people drink alcohol or they eat junk food,
the kidneys have
to bear the toxicity.
They get
hammered. You should then
appreciate what the kidneys do for you and treat them better by not
eating junk food. So a lot of people ask me, what supplements do I recommend? Now, of course, I'm not biased of my own high-quality supplement line, but if you go to Amazon and type Dr. Berg supplements, you'll find more information. Another point I want to bring up is ibuprofen. Boy, this is something that will really destroy your kidneys. I mentioned the blood pressure, and if your blood pressure is high, realize there is a root cause to it. The 3 things that I always recommend for blood pressure are magnesium, vitamin D, and potassium in larger amounts. But if you have advanced stage kidney disease, you have to get with your doctor, and you can't start taking high doses of vitamins or minerals. You can't just eat anything. You really have to be consulted on what you can have and what you can't have. But I will say, out of all the things that you can do for the kidneys, going on a low-carb diet will be necessary because
the higher the carbs, the more
destruction on the kidneys. Another great indication that doesn't relate to the eyes is frequent urination. If you're getting up 2 or more times a night, realize that's another big clue that the kidneys are not able to hold the urine. And this is why intermittent fasting is one of the most powerful things you can do for your kidneys to pull you out of danger. And it's one of the best things to do for frequent urination.